So I want to tell you a hunting story. This is one of those things that happened to me, obviously, and my brother Mickey and my cousin Terry. And we had decided we were going to go out and go hunting one particular weekend. And as usual, we took pretty minimal kind of stuff with us. As I remember, we were in a panel truck, which was uh, probably belonged to Terry's dad, my Uncle M. He owned the Gordon's plant in Prescott, Arizona, and therefore he had a lot of different kinds of vehicles. This happened to be a panel truck, which, for those of you that don't know, that's really just a kind of a pickup with a sort of a built-in camper on the back, if you will. I mean, it's part of the truck. But anyway, we decided we were going to go out this weekend and do a little hunting. And I was hunting kind of down lower over in a given area, and our camp was located down a specific ridge line. And, I spent the afternoon hunting, and I'm out there by myself. Meanwhile, my brother Mickey and my cousin Terry are way up at the top of this mountain called Ball Mountain or Black Mountain. We used to call it both of those things. It's actually over out of Skull Valley. And they were hunting along up there. I'm hunting along down where I'm at. It's getting kind of late-ish in the afternoon, 4 o'clock or so, and I hear all this shooting up on top. And back in those days, we used to take long shots. We used to take running shots, things we don't do anymore. I used to do that when I was a kid, but now I just like that animal to go straight down. I don't want to wound anything, so I'm very careful about the kind of shots I take. I try to get a rest, etc. And most hunters are like that nowadays. But anyway, I hear all the shooting up there. And I thought, well, all that shooting, they should have got something. I don't know. So I figured it doesn't affect me because it's so far up there. I might have entertained the notion that maybe I should go up there and help them, clean and carry out whatever it is they may have gotten. But then I didn't know for sure they got anything. And with that much shooting, the odds are pretty good that they didn't. He must have been missing. That's why they kept shooting. Anyway, it keeps getting a little bit darker, and I think I better make it back to camp. So I basically managed to get back to camp about the time it's getting pretty darn dark. And I look around, I gather up every bit of wood and anything that will burn, I gathered it up. I brought it over the campfire, and there wasn't much. It was just a little bit of stuff. Because we were kind of camped in a spot where it was really open. You had to go down in a canyon, go over the other side to try to get anything. It was, and not only that, just that area didn't have a lot of wood anyway. It had a lot of brush, had stuff that just was not conducive to burning, if you will. But anyway, I got the fire going as best I could, and it's just sort of way down, hardly anything. I mean, one guy right up close to it, it's what we used to call an Indian fire. No offense to anybody, but it's like an old Indian saying that, a white man builds a great big fire and stands way back. An Indian builds a small fire and stands right up close, which that does make a lot of sense. But anyway, I've got this little tiny fire going on here, and now it's dark. And I mean, by the time I get all this done, it's dark. And I mean, like pitch black kind of dark. No moon that night, just dark. And I hear this up on the hill, and I got to thinking about these guys. It's like, man, where are those guys? That'd be making it back any time. And I hear this. Bring up the Pliers. And I thought, what? And I hollered back, what? And of course, both of them. Bring up the Pliers. And we went through several iterations of the screaming back and forth because I couldn't really understand what they were saying. And finally I got, bring up the Pliers? What the heck did he want the Pliers for? Well, it just made no sense to me at all. So I'd say, well, okay, I'll see what I can find. I started looking around. We didn't have any tools with us. We didn't have anything with us. I just got to thinking about that. Oh, okay, here's what's happened. They got one up there. They probably got it all cleaned out. They're trying to rig up something that they can carry it down a hill on. They need help. So I thought, well, I can go up and help. I don't have any pliers, but I can go up and help. So I start walking up the hill. It's dark. Back in those days, we didn't take flashlights. We didn't take water with us when we were out hunting. We didn't take food with us. I mean, you might have stuck a candy bar in your pocket. That would have been about it. Nowadays, I have a whole backpack that has everything from stuff to eat to survive in the cold to first aid kit. But back in those days, we didn't do any of that. You just took your rifle, grabbed some ammunition, and out you went. So anyway, I started walking back up the hill, and I get probably a quarter mile, maybe even a half mile away from camp, and it's stumbling along in the dark. It is not a pleasant experience. And I hear this. Both of them together. You could hear them counting. 1, 2, 3. And it was a nice cold night, cold, crisp night, no wind blowing. So the sound does carry pretty well. But they're way up there on top. Now keep that in mind. So I hear them. 1, 2, 3. Can light up the fire! And of course, then it dawns on me. They're way up at the top of this mountain. They're not sure which ridge they ought to be coming down. And there's a big difference between going down this ridge and going down this ridge. You basically got to be coming down the right side. And in the night, how can you tell? So I communicate to them that, okay, I got it. But I go back to the fire, and I still have this problem of no firewood. I mean, I yanked off what I could of the bushes that were around there. Anything I thought would burn, I got it going to some extent. But we did have one thing, and that was 5 gallons of gas. So I got that 5 gallons of gas. I came over and I put it down here. The fire is maybe 3 or 4 feet away at the most. And I grab a cup and I put a cup full of gas. Now, I know you don't pour gas on a burning fire because the fire will actually come right up into a cup that you're holding in your hand. And of course, your reflex would be to basically drop it real quick and it'll scatter all over the place, including you. And therefore, you don't want to do that. So, being not completely without my wits, I put some, probably a half cup, and threw it on the fire. And up comes the fire. And that felt pretty good too. Well, they shut up. So I figured they must have been happy. And what had happened is the fire would burn down. I'd go out and just, pull up some grass or whatever I could find, to try to keep regular fuel on. But ultimately, I still had to just keep throwing fuel on that fire. And this went on for quite a while because it took them a while to get off that mountain. I mean, walking's not easy on that mountain in the daytime, let alone at night without a flashlight. And finally, I hear them talking. Again, it's a cold night, so the sound does travel pretty well. And they've gotten down close enough to where I could hear them actually talking back and forth. So I know they're all right. I thought, well, all right, I'll just throw one more on. So I did. I pour it out, and I throw it on the fire. And guess what? All this time, I've been wearing a little trail of gasoline right back to this can. And that fire comes out of the fire, right up into the can, and catches fire. Now, I always thought that a container of gasoline would blow up if it got on fire. Not true. It just burns. It'd probably blow up if the container itself melted and scattered a whole bunch of gas all over the place. That'd be a lot of fuel that burns real fast. But in this case, it's just on fire. Well, what do you do when you have a 5-gallon gas thing that's half full now because I've been throwing gas on it all night? What do you do with that? Well, when you're whatever I was, 15-year-old kid or so, you grab the can and throw it, which is like because you think it's going to blow up. Like you're going to throw a half a gallon or half full 5 gallon of gas far enough away from you to not get hurt. But you know, it's panic time is what it really is. You grab it, you throw it. I did anyway. Fortunately, we were camped on kind of a top of a little ridge line. And when the gas can landed, maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet at the most away from me, it landed with the opening up instead of down. Because had it landed down, all that gasoline would started running down the hill and caught that entire hill on fire. Fortunately, it landed the other direction. And I just, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And finally, it dawned on me that we had a carpet in the panel truck that we were going to actually sleep on. I pulled that carpet out, threw it over the gas can, and the fire went out. So, in the long run, we were okay. But, you know, it's just that whole story. It's just one of those things of when you hear something, doesn't necessarily mean you hear what was actually said. I wonder how many hard feelings over the years have been basically derived from just not hearing something the way it was said. I don't know. But that's a story that happened when I was pretty young, and it's just one of those kid stories. I'll tell you more down the road.